What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to be taking a look at a new Zudomon card. I love the Zudomon in the starter deck. I've made absolutely no secret about that. Well, the good news is there's a new one coming in New Evolution, and the good news even further is I like this one too. Now, this is super rare, weirdly enough. It's a level 5. It's got 6,000 power. It is a 7 cost to play normally, and it is a 3 cost to evolve. And that's about right. We've seen more powerful level 5s. I mean, we can look at something like Greymon, for instance, which is a 7 cost to play normally, but is a 7,000 power. But then again, it's really not that bad. A little bit of variance here or there is to be expected. Though actually, the more I look at it, we can look at something like Metal Greymon, which is a 7 cost to play, 7,000 power. But then we could look at Mega Kabuterimon, and that's a 7 cost to play, 6,000 power. So, once again, we're really dropping the power a little bit so that we can justify giving better abilities. And you'll notice before we even go through it here, we have both an inheritable and a non-inheritable ability. So we should be a little bit excited. Now, the first one is kind of exciting. When you play it, you draw 2 cards. Drawing 2 is really good. Like, really good. Now, remember, this is on play, not on evolution. When you evolve, you draw 1 normally. That's a natural mechanic of the game. Here it is, you draw 2 when you play it. But you've got to pay the 7 cost to play it in order to draw the 2. Having said that, drawing 2 is really good. We don't see many draw 2 at all in this game. Though interestingly enough, the Gabumon, which did come around, or is coming around I should say, in New Evolution as well, does have another skill that when you play it you draw 1. Now of course this is a natural kind of 2-stage evolution up from Gabumon, but again, it's when played. So Gabumon, you play it, not evolve, you draw 1. Zudomon, you play it, not evolve, you draw 2. Drawing 2 is really good. Drawing cards is always good. No, that's a lie. Drawing extra cards is always good, unless you draw so many cards that you have no cards available to draw at the beginning of your turn, and you lose the game. That's a bad thing, but most of the time, drawing extra cards is good. More cards to play, more options. Of course, what you really want to do, we've seen it's got an inheritable ability. What we really want to do is play this, draw 2 cards, and then go ahead and evolve it afterwards. And if we're drawing 2 cards, that means we're more likely to draw into what we want to draw into. Drawing extra cards is really good here. Is it worth just playing it down rather than evolving it? I mean, the difference in cost is 4 memory. I can evolve it for 3 memory, I can play it normally for 7, so I am playing an extra 4 so that I just get to play it down rather than having to evolve it, and that's what I do in order to draw those 2 cards. And the answer is, and I'm sorry if this sounds like a gigantic cop-out, the answer is, it depends. It depends what you're playing against. It depends on your board state. If you desperately need to get a level 6 going really quickly, then playing this down, drawing 2, drawing into level 6 and evolving it next turn, probably a good idea. If, however, you need to be getting lots of inheritable skills to really start messing with your opponent, you're going to want to just be evolving it up. And the good news is that when you start evolving up with Zudomon, you do get an inheritable skill. I should mention our translations come from the lovely Jason Snowjacks. Who else? To be fair, there are a few, but Jason Snowjacks is our usual one here. Pops it in the Facebook group. Lovely dude. When you attack, if your opponent has a Digimon with no evolution sources, gain 1 memory. Now, we've seen this quite a lot in the blue cards. These skills that activate and come in if your opponent has a Digimon with no evolution sources. I mean, going back to Zudomon as an example here, Zudomon, when you play it, you get to remove 2 evolution sources from the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon. So this would actually work quite nicely with that one. Take away evolution sources. Hey, they've got no evolution sources. Now I get +1 memory. And the real question here becomes, do you want to do this? Do you want to play the blue deck that takes away evolution sources and then gains benefit by virtue of having taken away evolution sources? Because if you want to, we've got a whole bunch of good options. I mean, just sticking in the blue starter deck for a couple of moments, we could have a look at the Tamer card. Yamato Ishida, Matt Ishida comes down. At the beginning of your turn, if your opponent has a Digimon with no evolution sources, you gain 1 memory. We could look at the baby Digimon, the Digitama, the Zudomon. When it battles an opponent's Digimon with no evolution sources, you gain 1000 DP. Although you do have to be battling a Digimon with no evolution sources, rather than battling while there is a Digimon with no evolution sources out. Or we could look at the Garurumon, the one we mentioned a moment ago. While your opponent has a Digimon with no evolution sources, any of them, then you get security attack +1. Although, to be clear, this is another level 5 blue Digimon, so Garurumon would not be an as well as Zudomon option, it would be an instead of Zudomon option. If you're going for this new one as a level 5 blue Digimon, then you cannot also go for Garurumon as a level 5 blue Digimon. That doesn't work. It's one or the other. And then, of course, we can take away those evolution sources. I've already mentioned Zudomon as an option to remove evolution sources. When you evolve it, you remove 2 evolution sources from the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon. So now, and this is another level 5 blue Digimon, so again, we cannot play all of them at once. We can play all of them in the deck, but there's only so much memory to go around to play level 5s. There's only so many level 4s we're going to have during the game that we're able to evolve. You've been warned. But the point here is that you can get rid of evolution sources using this Zudomon and then play this other one and gain advantage of it. Or if you want lower Digimon, how about the level 4 Garurumon? When you attack, you remove 1 evolution source from one of your opponent's Digimon. And it is very important to note that it is, again, an evolution skill, or an inheritable skill, so that means that you can get this as well as you're going up through the evolutions. Or maybe the Gabumon from the starter deck. When you attack, you remove an evolution source from the bottom of one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. We've got a really rather sizable amount of options at this stage for taking out evolution sources and for taking advantage of your opponent's Digimon that don't have evolution sources. And one of the things to bear in mind here, we've only actually seen, well, this is the 6th blue Digimon we've seen from New Evolution. There's going to be plenty of others, so you're fine. I mean, we did see a new Matt Ishida in New Evolution, and that's got a really rather nice skill. Now, it is a 4-cost tamer, unless you draw it as a security card, in which case you get to play it for free. But if you play a blue Digimon by resting this card, you may discard an evolution source from the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon. And that is essentially once per turn, every turn, just so long as you play a blue Digimon. And if you're playing a blue enough deck, you will be. So my point here is that you're actually gaining new options in New Evolution. Well, I suppose new option, we've only seen one, but we're almost certainly going to get more, and this is going to get better and better. But it's another one of those blue cards where you're being asked to commit. You are being asked to play a blue deck where you're getting rid of evolutions and then taking advantage of it. I don't think a 7-cost that draws you 2 cards on its own is good enough. But a 7-cost that draws you 2 cards and then evolves having a really nice inheritable skill, I'm all over it. I mean, we could put it side by side with the other Zudomon, and it ends up being 1 more expensive, while also having 1,000 less power, so stats-wise it's just plain worse. But it's got really nice skills. Now, as for the evolution skills, would you rather gain a memory when you attack, which is what this one does, or get security attack +1, which is what the rare Gabumon from the starter deck does, and they both activate if your opponent has a Digimon with no evolution sources. Honestly, most of the time I'd rather have the extra security attack, but then again you might not survive the security attack, or your opponent might have lowered your security attack. Don't forget we got Fire Tornado in the yellow starter deck that gives you security attack -3, so there are still going to be plenty of times you will want to use this. I love the card in a vacuum. I think it's really cool. I love the artwork on it, I love the drawing too, I love the inheritable skill, but I'm not sure it's better than other level 5 Digimon that do similar things. Definitely one to get testing with, definitely one to pop in your binder as a lovely, shiny, beautiful card, but honestly, I think most of the time I'd rather have Were Gabumon, and I'd probably rather have the other Zudomon. Please don't be mad at me. Now, having said that, those are in evolutions. Maybe if you just want to play it normally, this one's better for drawing cards. I don't know. I've told you what I think. I want to know what you think. I'm actually a little bit excited to know what you think. Do you think I'm being too down on the card? Because when I first saw it, I was hyped. And then when I started analysing and comparing it to other level 5 blue Digimon, my hype level did go down just a little bit. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all that good stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.